All right, G Malone, Cancel D's Nuts, the album. Why is this a statement that needs to be made?
I guess it don't have to be made, really. Like, I guess it don't have to be made at all. I think we could keep letting the world spin off its orbit. We could just keep letting it go crazy and all this crazy shit happen. I don't think it has to be made, but like, black people didn't also have to fight for civil rights. There's a lot of stuff that didn't have to happen, but shit, I think for all the world to be right, you know what I mean, you gotta do some shit. So, I mean, it don't bother you. You don't be like just looking at me like, damn, that shit it's just lame. No, you don't know? Like, it's just not lame? Does it bother you that everything seems a bit lame? Like, hip-hop used to be really, no, for real, you laughing. Hip-hop used to be really cool. Remember, hip-hop was the cool kids. You know what I mean? That's where the term hip is about being cool. And you look now and it's like, it's really like the lame is lame. You know what I mean? There's a bunch of people convincing you need money to get girls. You know what I mean? It's a bunch of people who really ain't about no life, acting like they're about that life. You know what I'm saying? So it's lame. So I think I speak for street urban culture enough to where I realize, like, I gotta say something. Like, I don't have to, but I'm compelled. I feel I'm convinced. I'm convinced.
Who's the last person you remember getting canceled?
Probably Kanye. Kanye got canceled.
At what point did Kanye get canceled?
Shit, when Adidas was like, yeah, we not fucking with you no more. When the pressure from the world made Adidas, you know what I mean? Adidas stopped doing business with him, I knew it was over. I knew it was over at that point.
How'd that story ultimately play out?
Kanye on top, victorious. You know, man, Kanye is like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can't fuck with him, you know what I mean? Because it's a lot of people in today's hip hop, like the Baby went through that shit, right? The Baby went through it. But the thing with the Baby, it made it harder because they poured into the Baby first. Like, they was pouring into him. They was festivals, paying him big dollars for festivals, you know, moving him through the algorithm. They was doing everything to complement his talents and, you know, his authenticity as somebody from the culture itself, from street urban culture itself. But you see, like, as soon as they, you know what I mean, pulled back, he was just out there by himself. And it was tough, you know what I mean? He kind of went through a lot of shit. But Kanye, it was always like, he never seen phase. He's just like, yeah, I ain't got nothing else to say. So it played out with him winning because they got to pay him. They gonna sell the shoes and they got to pay him anyway. And at the end of the day, people's memory is short. You know what I mean? So even if people was offended, was they really offended? Were they really? Like, were they really, think about it, like, for real, all bullshit to the side, were they really offended?
I think when he started talking about the Jewish community,
were they really offended though? Like, do they really thought to themselves, like, he's saying some shit that's crazy? Like, is that, you know what I mean? Like, we in this weird space, right? Like, we can keep it a bean, right? Because you ain't got to say nothing, but is he really saying something crazy by saying, like this group of people have all the money? Like, is that, you know, that's kind of the stigma that goes with him. I don't know if I would call it being racist, you know what I mean? Like, stereotypes could be a little funny, but I don't know if I would say, I genuinely don't think their feelings were really that hurt. I think it was like a power play. They was showing how much power they had. I don't think it was ever their feelings was that hurt.
You know, you open the album, the first song on the album is the title track, Cancel These Nuts.
Yeah.
And I personally have a hard time thinking of people who actually got canceled in a real way. But I also understand that this is up for interpretation. So what is the difference between canceling someone and getting blackballed, in your opinion?
Same shit. Same shit. It's no different. Canceling somebody is blackballing them. You know, you taking away opportunities for them to feed their family. You just making it hard for them to make a living. That's all it is. I mean, it ain't like actually they finna, come put a hit out on somebody and knock them off, but they're gonna, cancel their sources of providing for their family. It could be worse, I guess, but somebody not being able to feed their kids is pretty fucked up.
Is there a level of accountability people should have for the way that, bare minimum, people interpret messages that are coming from a person or organization or an artist? For example, is the problem cancel culture, or is the problem people feeling the need or want to cancel someone because they feel that this person may not represent, the values that they have, or this person offended them and their outlook? Like, is it the chicken or the egg with cancel culture?
It's one thing, like, I don't think it's specifically either. It's the fact that everybody fucks with everything outside of it. So if it's like, okay, if this particular movement is offended and then they're just offended, fine. Like, okay, I won't support you no more. Right? I respect that. Like, as a Crip, if somebody says something derogatory about Crips, they be like, this crab. And I'm like, okay, I'm not fucking with that. Cardi B said some shit like something flew. I never fuck with that bitch records. Fuck that bitch. I wouldn't piss on her if she was on fire to put her out. You know what I mean? Because she said something derogatory. Now, I'm not finna go to my Pyru homies and start to conspire against her. Oh, let's get her killed. Let's rob her. Don't book her for shows. To me, that's the problem. Okay, if a movement doesn't appreciate something that somebody's saying, you know what I mean? I get it. That makes sense. And then that movement pulls back. We're not supporting you because you offended us. But it's different when these movements are corrupting everybody else. Is like, well, he's an unrighteous person, so nobody should fuck with him. That, to me, is the problem with cancel culture. It's not that, it's not about one group of people being offended. It's about them being offended and then going to spread, they crybaby shit to everybody else to try to stop somebody from eating. That would probably be my issue with cancel culture. Like, it's cool if you don't like me, but you got to make everybody else not like me because you don't like me. That's just lame.